I have called you here today because we need to solve a homicide.
Oh.
Technical difficulties. You guys are sharing a notebook. I only have 2.
She can write. What do I have to write? I have sticky notes. I get sticky notes.
Oh shoot, I didn't bring you guys a pen.
Oh wow.
Okay.
What a great investigator.
Shush. So the case that we are solving today is for Harmony Ashcroft. This is top secret information. This cannot leave this room. We will not leave this room until we solve it. To be opened by authorized personnel only, aka me.
We're not allowed to use.
Technical difficulties.
Do you need help there?
The case belongs to Harmony Ashcroft. This is a homicide. Case number A03-05081998. Dates to May 8th, 1998. These are bonus envelopes that we have to open after we solve 1, 2, and 3. Objective number 1 is to prove Bones is innocent. After proving Bones could not be the killer, you may open bonus envelope A. So here's the evidence. Here are the photos. This is our victim, Harmony Ashcroft. These are all people that could be suspects, witnesses. We don't know, but we have to try and solve this mystery. One of these people is the killer. Now, before we get started, I want you guys to pick who you think is the killer just by their face. We know nothing about Harmony. We know nothing about her disappearance, but we are going to decide. I mean, my eye's kind of going towards Granny over here. She looks a little sus. Either Granny or Chris Adams. I don't know. Something about the name Chris just gives me a weird vibe. So just pick take your guess. Who you think? We know nothing, so your answer could totally change at the end of
For
this.
some reason, I'm thinking it might be this.
Chad.
Yeah.
Chad Dylan Cooper.
I kind of think between these two.
So either the officer or Jason
I
Griggs.
feel like this is her husband. Who might be her husband.
Officer Kent Grayson.
Oh, I feel like it's this one, or that one.
Okay, so here we have a setup of both evidence, shots of the night that she was killed, people in her life. Okay, this is Riverdale Police Department.
If only we had like little paper so we could go like this and then like line it up like that.
What do you mean?
So like, you know how?
So you're putting too much effort into this.
Why are you not?
I know. Or on the whiteboard, we could put her on top and then go from ring to this, to this, to this, to this, to this, to this.
Okay, let's put her picture up on the board.
What a great idea.
I know, it just came to me. Her ring says until death do we part. Until death do we part. Interesting.
That means they're going to be together forever, Kristen.
No. I think they set her up from the beginning. I think it was a subliminal message that they were trying to send her. Here is a paper clipping. So local psychologist murdered. A 28-year-old woman was killed last night in an altercation that took place in the parking lot behind Tully's around 9:30 p.m. Police have identified the woman as a local child psychologist, Harmony Ashcroft. Miss Ashcroft was attending the rehearsal dinner for her wedding to Christian Peterson, which was scheduled for today at St. Michael's Church. Police investigators have determined her death to be the result of a blunt impact to the head. According to Detective Jack Stason with the Riverdale Police Department, the injuries are consistent with a face-to-face physical altercation with another person. We've ruled out accidental causes and have launched a full homicide investigation. The victim bodies was discovered by a member of a wait staff while taking out the garbage. He rushed inside to inform the wedding party, resulting in a massive panic as about 30 people rushed towards the back parking lot to help the victim. According to reports, Ashcroft and Peterson left the restaurant to get some gifts out of the car and never returned. Peterson was apprehended by police at his residence at 10 p.m. Peterson claims he drove home for forgotten presents and left Harmony alone in the parking lot where someone else must have attacked her. When someone reached for comment, the fiancé said, "This is a nightmare. Harmony is the love of my life, and I had nothing to do with it. I'm cooperating with the police, and we're going to find the real killer, and they're gonna pay." Here is evidence report, Riverdale Police Evidence Department. William Bones McBride. We have to prove that he's innocent because they've already taken him in as a suspect. And then this is her invitation here. Rehearsal dinner honoring Harmony and Christian on May 8th, 1998 at 8 p.m. Tully's restaurant. She died of a skull fracture. Victim appears to be an average 28-year-old woman in good health. External injuries were a blunt force trauma to right eye and anterior scalp. Internal injuries were extensive skull fracture and severe hemorrhaging over the right eye socket. Cause of death, blunt force trauma of the head, victim dead within moments of trauma. Manner of death, victim was killed by a single strike to the head inflicted by a hand or a blunt object. The force and angle of impact indicate the murderer would need to be a left-handed or ambidextrous man or woman of considerable strength and height. This is William Joseph McBride's fingerprints when he was convicted. This is the map of Riverdale. 24-year-old man William Bones McBride has been arrested for the murder of local child psychologist Harmony Ashcroft. According to law enforcement authorities, the assault took place after demand for money and a brief struggle with the victim. It also appeared that the victim's engagement ring was taken during the course of a violent encounter. McBride has a long history of petty crime in Riverdale, and all our evidence indicates that he was trying to get money or valuables from the victim and struck her in the face with a blow so powerful it caved in her skull. He was then able to easily take the victim's engagement ring from her and flee on foot, said Police Chief Brock Inman. About 30 minutes after the time of the murder, McBride was found in Grant Park with Harmony Ashcroft's ring in his possession. According to police, McBride offered no explanation for how he got the ring. After a detailed assessment of all suspects, witness, and evidence available, it became clear that we had identified the assailant. He was found with the victim's engagement ring in his hand 30 minutes after the murder. I mean, it's pretty obvious, said Police Chief Inman. The police chief goes on to say, as tragic as these kinds of situations are, at least identifying the assailant and seeing him brought to justice gives family and friends an opportunity for closure. When asked for comment, McBride denied any involvement in the murder. So this is Christian Peterson, her husband, Bones, Rex Ratliff, Andy Allen, Derek Sievers. These are our suspects.
So we didn't have to choose the murder from over here?
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, let's choose the suspect. Let's choose who we think is the murderer.
Okay, well, he's out of the picture.
Yeah, Bones is innocent because we're having to prove him innocent. I think, honestly, it was this man, Andy Allen. I think he was in love with her. He was jealous of Chris Peterson. He actually wanted to kill Chris Peterson, but he ended up striking
How do you know one of these
Harmony.
women in love with her?
No, this is just my guess. What's your guess?
I think it's the husband.
You think it's the husband? You, Ceci?
Who are these?
I don't know. We don't know who they are yet. So that's all of our evidence. We can look through it, find everything. There's witness statements in here, person of interest, police interrogation, phone records, all that. Look through it. Okay, so first we have to prove that Bones is innocent. So I'm going to look through Bones' profile here and find out what is going on. So my guess is that Bones is a likely suspect because he's had sort of petty thefts, petty crimes before.
We just think it's easiest to blame him.
Exactly. That's what's wrong with our justice system, but we won't let that happen today. So we've read through the cases of each of the suspects, and we're now going to talk about each of them and whether we think they're guilty or not guilty. So I think there's two suspects here. My first initial suspect, and then now I have a new suspect because I think that there's an ulterior motive. So first of all, let's talk about why Bones is innocent. Oh, I found my paperclip. Bones, I feel like, was just an easy target by Officer Kent Grayson. This is his statement. I was at Rambo's bar until right after 9 p.m. From there, I went to the Grant Park to get some rest and fell asleep. So somebody stuck the ring in his pocket. The next thing I remember is being surrounded by 20 officers shining lights in my eyes. Wally, Big Dog Bryson, is the only that saw Bones that night. No one else saw him after 9 p.m. Bones was at a bar and it was happy hour, but he didn't have enough money So he said, he kind of started getting like rowdy and was talking back. And he said, fine, I'll find my own money. And then he left. Normally, he has done this before and he would go up to the front and he would ask for money. But this time they said that he walked away and he just didn't come back. So I think he left and went to the park and then fell asleep. I think Bones was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Next here, we have suspect Rex Ratliff. I don't think Rex had any sort of connection to the murder. First of all, Rex Ratliff is just a little cuckoo. He had a lot of anger issues. He was very unstable, and he had a tendency to like go off on people. So Miss McCoy, all she knows is that Rex Ratliff was renting an apartment above hers, and they've had some sort of altercation along the way. That's all she knows. Cheryl Pratt also knows him because he came into the office where Harmony worked, and he was talking about how he needed to see a psychologist, but he specifically wanted to see Harmony. So Cheryl tried to persuade him to go and see someone else because Harmony was specifically a child psychologist, and he started to get angry because he wanted to talk to Harmony. He was very obsessive and he was stalking Harmony. This is a phone list of all the times that he tried calling her and contacting her.
Darn.
So it does seem very suspicious, but I don't think he killed her. I don't think he did it. I really don't.
This was for Andy Allen. This is just his report, but he said all he said was he was fixing his brakes because his car wasn't working. And then he said he went to bed around 11 and he got a phone call at 2 a.m. from Harmony's mother saying that she was murdered. And then this is the conversation when they were interviewing him. Andy was saying just like how they were best friends, and the police officer was saying why didn't he attend, and he said that he was invited, but his car brakes weren't working, so he had to fix them. The detective was questioning him, asking him why he didn't take the bus or why he didn't like take a cab or ask for a ride, and he said he didn't want to ask for a ride. And he also said that it was his excuse to get out of the reception because he didn't want to go and see Harmony getting at the reception with another guy. He was talking about how his neighbor Jason said that he doesn't know Andy very well, but he did ask for a wrench around 10, but he said that he hadn't seen Andy after he had asked for the wrench. And Chad is Andy's friend, which he also knows Harmony. He doesn't know Harmony as well as Jason, and he knows the husband too, but not as well as Harmony and Jason. And Chad had said that Jason had confessed to him, well, not confessed to him, but like he knew that Andy was in love with Harmony. And he said that they've had conversations saying that it's hard to be just friends with a woman, and that he said that it could possibly work if you'd never fall in love with him. Andy had told Chad that it would be funny if he got drunk at the reception and confessed his love to Harmony. He also claimed that it could be possible abuse with Christian Harmony, and that he said that Andy is a nice guy, so he was in love with her, but he doesn't think that it was possible for him to kill Harmony, which I personally don't think that Andy had killed her, because he has 2 alibis, and one of them is his neighbor, and he did borrow a tool. It's possible that he did borrow it like to cover up that he murdered her, but there's I don't think it's him.
So I believe that he is not a suspect, or shouldn't be, because he was with Admiral Joseph Arthurson.
Who is that?
He is a veteran, and he went with him all through from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And he told the story of how he met Derek. He became friends because he was stationed with him on his ships. But Derek, he had a custody battle for his kids. He was served by the court that he has no right to even have contact with his kids. And he was, I guess, struggling with that. So he went with Admiral Joseph Arthurson to the river, which was here in Riverdale Marina. But later on, they said that when they were going back, that's when they noticed that the cops and everything was surrounded, and they later found out that it was her.
Okay, so he wasn't even there.
No.
He wasn't even in Riverdale. My new suspect is Christian, aka her fiance. I think he's guilty because he doesn't have any witnesses of where he was. All that we know is that he left the reception. The only person that talks about him is Jenny Rogers, who is Harmony's best friend. But I think she's a two-timer, and I think her and Christian had a little thing going on.
Yes, from the beginning.
But you didn't think it was both of them having an affair.
Yeah, but no, in my head I did. No.
How did you know who Jenny Rogers was before reading this?
No, I didn't know who Jenny Rogers was, but I was assuming.
You know what's suspicious? I think you killed Harmony.
What?
You seem to know an awful lot about everyone.
No,
here.
because-
The only thing that Jenny said was how she remembers the first time that Christian and Harmony met each other, and she said that he came up to them, said, "How do you like me so far?" And then they all just laughed, and that's all that there really was. When the police interrogated Christian, he didn't really seem upset. I know people react differently to news, but the fact that his fiance just got murdered, like, you wouldn't even like be upset. He was more like he felt like he was being personally attacked. He's like, why aren't you blaming other people? The only time that he started to cry was at the very end when the subject of the ring came up, and he said that on the ring inside it said, "Till death do we part." And even the police officer was like, "Till death do we part?" Like, that's pretty suspicious, you know? And then that's when he started crying because he remembered, you know, his fiance. But he was more like very angry, and the police officer was also asking him if he was aggressive or, you know, abusive towards Harmony, and he was like, no, I'm not. He was getting kind of like irate about it, and so the police officer is like, really, for someone who's really calm, like, you seem awfully suspicious, you know? But I also still think Andy might be a suspect. He was like my first guess because I thought, and I didn't even know this, I just said, I think he's in love with Harmony. So in the case file for him, it says that he was in love with her. And I think he had a motive, but I don't think he wanted to kill Harmony. I think he wanted to kill Christian, but Harmony was just in the way, and he ended up killing her. Maybe he confessed his love to her, and she told him that she didn't have feelings for him, and he got upset about it. And when he did ask for the wrench, they said it was around 10 p.m., which makes me think maybe he didn't kill her because her body was found at 10 p.m. But somebody could be helping him, like, you know, like lying about his whereabouts. But I think the most likely suspect would be Christian Peterson. I think he's the most suspicious one. I think we've proven that Bones is for sure not guilty.
Guilty!
Bones is innocent. I think the only two that have probable cause
I still think it's possible.
and are suspects are Andy Allen and Christian Peterson, but I definitely think we're all leaning towards Christian Peterson more.
win.
Nobody said you won. Can you prove Bones is innocent? Do you know how to prove Bones is not guilty? Prove it below to move on to the next part of the case. What two documents prove Bones did not kill Harmony Ashcroft?
Well, did you see the location where he went in? What was the name of the place that he went in? Because did he go into Tilly's restaurant? Where was he at?
He was at the park.
Grant Park, right here.
Mm-hmm.
She was killed where?
At the venue.
Where's the venue? What's the venue? The bar?
No.
Oh.
I think the venue is Tilly's.
Yeah.
It's Tilly's. Here to here.
I don't think he would have had enough time to walk and then fall asleep.
So, the map. Because the pictures don't really tell you what like really happened. Where's the body picture?
The body picture.
The body picture.
Up there.
Well, the pictures maybe because that's the time. The time. What time did he go? Did he say what time he was? Did he get to Tilly's?
Photo.
No, he never went to Tilly's. They're saying that
They're saying he went to Tilly's, but there's no proof that he was seen at Tilly's.
Then what time did he get to the park? Was it the newspaper? Maybe the newspaper and that.
the newspaper didn't say anything about him.
It's because I know that there's proof that he's not, but I don't know what exactly
Are
are
we supposed to
the...
open the other ones?
Yes, after we can move on to them.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the ring.
with the
But I
ring.
thought she was murdered at
She
10.
was, because the picture it says like 9 something. So she wasn't killed at 9, and he wouldn't have time.
She was killed by 9:48. Well, no, she must have been killed before 9 because they took the picture after she was killed.
And he wouldn't have time to get from there to the park and be seen at 10.
So it's got to be the photo of her body. Okay, I clicked on hint because otherwise it's going to take us forever. One of the 2 documents you need to prove Bones is innocent is the main article titled Local Child Psychologist Murdered.
See, here's the article.
It was a newspaper.
Okay.
I knew it was the article and you guys didn't say
Popular...
what. Then is it this?
We just go down the list.
I think it's this one.
Okay, what is Coroner's Report?
Police Department.
Nope.
DIV.
It's probably this.
What is it? The map?
Yeah, the map.
We're just gonna go down
The map and the newspaper.
You did it! Wow, Cecilia's amazing! You did it. You proved Bones is innocent. Woo! I knew it all along.
No.
Yes, I just wanted you guys to figure it out.
How would this help though?
Because
that
it tells
shows
you where
yeah,
he was.
his like location and stuff.
He was here and then.
But I don't get how the news article about her. Oh, I guess because in the article it says temporary road
I think it was
closure.
this one.
Is there something that says something about a temporary road closure? I think it might be on the back of the other one or something. Maybe we didn't even look. It says Riverdale Fire Department closed Dale Bridge to both vehicle and pedestrian traffic for 1 hour on Friday night to clear a downpour, according to reports already have seen, and the traffic resumed across. So he wouldn't have been able to go to Tilly's because the bridge was closed. McBride cleared of all charges in 1998 Riverdale murder. We did it! Riverdale. Thanks to a newly reopened case, local man William Bones McBride has been fully cleared of all charges in the decades-old homicide of revered child psychologist Harmony Ashcroft. Case number A0305081998. Objective 2 is to crack the false alibi. So who in here is a little liar? Well, Chris Peterson doesn't have an alibi.
So you can't really say he.
Yeah, he could have murdered her, but Jenny Rogers is not an alibi. She just knows of him. And neither is Rex.
I think maybe it's him.
The only 2 people that have alibis are Andy Allen and Derek Sivers. So
He has 2. No, actually he has 1.
Who's his alibi?
His alibi is
The neighbor?
Yeah.
Jason Griggs? Is there anything in this, Brenda, that you think could possibly be a lie? Like, put aside the fact that you want to win, whatever you win.
But aside
maybe?
from the fact that that's the invitation.
Maybe
It's
the
because
neighbor
everything
probably
makes sense
lied.
for his case. It's because the friend wasn't. All he said was that he doesn't think that it's him, but he doesn't have to do anything with the alibi. So, and Jason was the one with the alibi, but he said that he borrowed a wrench at 10. But if he killed her, I don't think he would have had enough time to go home and change.
But he did have a car. The reason why Bones didn't have enough time was because he didn't have a car.
Yeah, but his car, his brakes were broken, and he even asked for a wrench from his neighbor.
What if he broke his own brakes? I'm just kidding. What if he broke his own brakes? I told you.
Nobody's winning. You're
I'm
trying
just kidding. No, for us,
Okay.
I really didn't think it was him.
Okay, we're just going to click on the hints because if not, we're going to be here forever.
Yeah.
So, hint number 1. One of the 2 documents you'll need is a photo from the crime scene.
I think it might be Brenda's.
You think so?
Because if he had a car, the only way you can get to that place is a car. So it has to
Damn
be
it.
his.
I I really was so confident
Probably the car that was taken was one of these.
Okay.
So his car.
So this is the crime scene, a restaurant.
Or the fastest way. Actually, wait. Is there tire wheels right there? Anywhere?
Someone's putting too much effort.
By the way, Ceci takes classes about law, UN the law or whatever, so that's why she's more like into this. Could this car be his car?
If it's not this one, it might be
Just
this
click
one.
on them.
But like, I'm pretty sure it might be that one.
And press Andy's case and...
I did it!
It was?
It was the crime scene photo, so the license plate on this white car right here. And Andy Allen's POI form, because it matches the license plate, so he lied. He said he wasn't there, but he was there. Remember in his report? Sorry, ladies, that was me. So remember
I really wanted to win.
So remember in his report how
you might win, but I mean.
So in his report, I mean, he still might not have killed her. He was there though, because in his report he said he wasn't there. But they said that he had a motive to be there. No, there was something else in your report. Jog your memory. Yes, remember somewhere in your report when you were telling us, you said something about why he wasn't there, but that he could have been there. There was something in here that you said that like, oh, I remember now. It's that you said that he talked about how there was an argument between Christian and Harmony. But if he wasn't there, how did he know about the argument?
Oh, that's the first thing I said.
Yeah. Damn, we're really good at this.
I didn't think we were going to solve it.
I didn't think so either. I thought we were going to be here forever. I was literally like, guys, prepare to be here for hours. Okay, so here we have 2 new photos. Or no, 1 new photo. This is of Harmony with her kids, Riverdale Red Sox T-Ball League champs 1976. To whom it may concern, this is Deborah Ashcroft. I want to thank you for your help with my daughter's case. It's been decades since it happened, but I can't describe how difficult it has been. Some days are better than others, but a day has yet to pass that I didn't wish I could wake up from this nightmare. I'm struggling with all the resurfaced memories, but I'm glad some justice is being done. I hope you can continue your efforts to help find the real killer. I've always held resentment with Christian for what happened. It's been hard watching him move on with his life, always wondering in the back of my head what might be different if he hadn't left my daughter.
Yeah?
Alone that night. Oh, alone that night.
There.
Oh.
I should have continued reading. Assuming that really happened. I want to be happy for Jenny and him. I told you! Their family is so beautiful, but it pains me to admit every time I see them around town, I can't help feeling jealous. It's like their kids should be my grandchild. If only someone hadn't taken Harmony. I was told by the police,
I'm gonna win!
shut up, that you're looking into the old suspects in the case, and I think that's great. I want to believe that Christian is innocent, but I've always had my doubts. And there were a few other characters in Harmony's life back then I've never felt good about. I've heard you're also investigating Andy Allen, and I just want to respectfully say that I think your efforts might be better spent on other suspects. I've known Andy since he was 6, and he'd never hurt Harmony. They've been inseparable since T-Ball in 1976. I included one of my favorite pictures from that team. Oh, so maybe that's her mom.
This is Harmony and her mom.
Oh, okay, and then
And
Alan's
then one
in there.
owns Alan. I think it's this
Andy has lived through his own nightmares since the incident. He fell on hard times right after Harmony's death and has never recovered. I'm afraid false accusations against him could cause a lot of harm. I think he still blames himself for what happened, but I won't question your judgment. You've cracked open a 20-year-old case that police couldn't solve. I have a lot of faith in you to find the right killer. Okay, so very suspicious. See, I just finished watching American Murder, and that's why I felt like
I knew it.
Christian and Jenny had a thing going. Okay, so objective number 3 is to convict the killer. One of the suspects lied about something that seriously implicates him in the murder. Your job is to find it. The hint is this information does not prove he is the killer, but it is very suspicious and will help the prosecution secure a conviction. I think it's Andy Allen's interview. Again, it says that he doesn't mean he is the killer, but it's suspicious.
Wait, but what did he say in that?
In here, I think it's where he talks about how he knew about the argument. where he knows about the argument, but he wasn't
I
there.
knew they were gonna end up together.
I
knew
said it
from the
too.
very beginning.
Me too. I can literally replay it where I said I think he had an affair with someone. And hint number 1, don't listen to Miss Ashcroft's advice about Andy. So it's the letter from Miss Ashcroft.
Who's left-handed? Did they never say who's left-handed?
Nothing in.
Hello.
Yay, we got it!
Yay, we got it! Woo, after trying for so long. The only reason we got it was because of Ceci. I swear, we wouldn't have made it without her. Okay, so you did it. You proved Andy is left-handed. Oh! You know what?
We didn't even know this in the first place. We didn't know what we were solving.
So Andy is left-handed, and that proves it in the photo of the baseball team here. Ugh.
And it says it in here.
Because he has his glove on his left hand. And then here on the evidence report of the thing, it says that he's left-handed. The killer was left-handed.
So he's the main suspect.
Yes, right now, Andy Allen is the main suspect. Okay, voluntary statement. I'm not sure where that came from. I've never been violent in my entire life.
Oh, that's just
Harmony went down instantly, and I immediately got down to try and help her. She didn't have a pulse, and it was clear from the lifeless eye on her badly crushed skull. She was dead. As I stood above her in absolute shock, I noticed the engagement ring on her hand and thought about how Christian caused all of this. In the heat of the moment, I decided to take his engagement ring, thinking that he didn't deserve to see it on her hand ever again. I hurried back in my car, but was too rattled to drive right away. About 10 minutes after the police arrived, I realized I'd better get out of there and drove home, taking the bridge near the Riverdale Marina. About halfway home, I realized that I had to get rid of the engagement ring, so I stopped at Grant Park where I saw Mr. McBride sleeping and put it in his hand. I didn't know Mr. McBride and didn't intend to frame him for the murder. I just thought in a few days he might try to pawn the ring and it'd get back to the police and send them on a wild goose chase looking for the wrong killer. I realized I didn't have an alibi as soon as I got home, so I went to my neighbor's house and pretended like I had been fixing the brakes on my car all evening, even though I had fixed them earlier that evening before leaving for the party. I knew that police would be looking for a powerful left-handed person, and while filling out the person of interest form, I decided that I would pretend to be right-handed. I have been using my right hand since. I'm so sorry for what I've done to Harmony, Christian, and their families. Mr. McBride and everyone else.
Killed her?
Yes.
Damn it! I wanted to win.
I'm so good at this.
Either way, that girl's a fake
Yay! And we
friend.
have $10 off for the next case. Wow. So what did we learn from this? I'm
Don't
amazing.
trust your friends.
Yes, don't trust your friends, because her best friend ended up marrying and having kids with her best friend's fiance. So she jumped on that real quick. I think she had been in love with him since the beginning, and I think he did too. Also, I always knew Andy was suspicious even before I knew that he was in love with her.
I knew, but I didn't know.
You know what it was? It was those glasses and that haircut. It gave it away.
Okay, so if you're ever a
we gotta
suspect for
focus
murder, we're
more
gonna think it's you
on
because
the
you have glasses.
details.
Okay, it's these specific glasses.
Hello.
What?
I used to have some.
We also learned.
I did also suspect you, remember? Remember I said I think you killed her. I love how I knew this. I'm so happy. Gonna go.
Was that the end of it?
Yeah, that was it. We solved it. We solved the murder. Woohoo. Woohoo. Oh, I literally read the back part. It says, my name is Andy Ellen and I killed Harmony Ashcroft on May 8th, 1998. It was a crime of passion and not premeditated. On the evening of May 8th, 1998, I drove to Tooley's to attend Harmony and Christian Peterson's wedding rehearsal dinner. I intended to tell Harmony that I loved her and did not think she should marry Christian. But when I arrived at the party, I didn't have the courage to go in. I didn't want to be around all those people celebrating the wedding and decided to wait to talk to Harmony by her Land Rover in the back parking lot. At 9:30 p.m., Christian and Harmony came out of the back door of Tooley's together. They were arguing and I hid behind another vehicle since I wanted to talk to Harmony alone. Christian was really angry and screaming in Harmony's face. I was about to fight him when Christian got in the car and peeled out of the parking lot alone. What did I also tell you? I thought it was the perfect opportunity to tell Harmony how I felt, so I walked up to her, and with every ounce of courage I could muster, I shared my true feelings. It took me a minute or two, but I told her I had fallen in love with her at 6 years old playing t-ball together, and my feelings had only grown stronger through the years. I told her she could do much better than Christian, and that if she only gave me a chance, I could prove it. Harmony's reaction was not anticipated. All those times I ran through the scenario in my head. She said something like, "Oh, Andy, you poor thing," and put her hand on my shoulder, but I took a step back. What did I tell you? It was clear that her feelings for me were not the same as mine. I was floored and embarrassed beyond belief. I had ran through the scenario so many times in my mind, and this wasn't ever a response I was expecting. She kept coming towards me, offering her pity and concern for my feelings, like I was one of her patients, and I just couldn't take it. I kept asking her to leave me alone, and she kept reaching her hand out as I kept backing away. She kept moving towards me, and I was just so crushed and embarrassed and confused, and the rush of my feelings along with her pity caused me to snap. I just want her to give me some space and leave me alone, but I lost control and punched her in the face really hard with my left hand.
Dang.
Okay, did you guys guess the answer? Did you guys convict the killer? So I'm pretty surprised that I guessed this from the get-go and like totally came up with the whole scenario. I literally did. I could literally replay the video. Or I literally came up with the whole scenario without even knowing what was gonna happen. That was fun, actually. I think if we were to do it again, we just needed, like how you said, says he paid more attention. But yeah, that is pretty much it. If you guys did enjoy that, please give this video a big ol' like. And don't forget to go down and subscribe so that you guys can keep up with all the other spooky videos that we get up to throughout spooky season. And you can turn on those post notifications so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. But with that being said, guys, I will see you all later. Peace.
You ain't know you dealing with a monster. Let her go cause she a prima donna. Sweating me like she be in a sauna. Tryna bend her down in Tijuana. Stack of money taller than the plaza. Got a lot of drip with no water. I'm on shotgun with no sawed off. She know them problems coming with the product.